What's up, y'all? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he, just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. And a brother got a day off. This is something that is very rare. I'm a hardworking man, y'all. I'm a hardworking man. I don't get many days off. I just picked this one probably about 85 months in advance. That's the way it goes on my job. But anyway, I figured since I have a day off and I have some time, I'll make a couple of videos or a few. And I want to talk about this past Sunday. Some of you may or may not know, but I am an avid Walking Dead fan. I watch the show. I've met quite a few of them at various conventions. They're pretty cool people. But I am very, very critical of the show, especially lately. Now keep in mind, guys, I do love the show, but because I love the show so much, it means that I watch it under a very, very, careful eye. You know what I mean? A very critical eye. And I want to be fair about it. But these are my feelings concerning the last episode. This is season 8. This would be episode 10, The Lost and the Plunderers. So, where is it? I wrote down some notes. So, I want to go over some things that, I kind of felt I don't know about. And right off the bat, I noticed something new about this episode in that they had title screens at the beginning of each scene. This is something I was not very happy about. I wasn't very excited about this, guys, because to me, it kind of took me out of that particular world. It took me out of that reality. We've never seen that before. So it opens up with the words Michonne across the screen in a black screen, white bold letters. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Is this like Pulp Fiction or some shit? Like we have to now start titling our chapters and they're going back, they're like playing with time and perspective. You know what I mean? It's like we're getting way too artsy with a show about the zombie apocalypse, I think. Plus, if you're telling your story the right way, you don't have to announce who it is that you're trying to, that they want you to look at, in this particular scene. Like you don't have to tell me, watch Michonne, and then in the next scene, it was watch Simon, and then in the next scene, it was watch Jadis, the garbage pail chick. And then in the next scene, it was watch Enid, and then it was watch Rick. It's like, why? You know what I mean? It's never been done, and we're like in 8 seasons. So my thing is, why are you starting this now? Why are you reminding me that I'm watching a TV show? It used to be enough that I just immersed myself into the world, immersed myself into the zombie apocalypse without the danger or the risk of being bitten. That was the appeal of The Walking Dead, that you could watch all types of crazy shit happen to other people as you munch on some popcorn and they get their bodies munched on. So I didn't like that right off the bat. Title screens, don't need them. What the fuck? And then, I don't know how many of you guys noticed also that after that, what we saw was some dramatic zoom-ins, like when Rick and Michonne were in the garbage dump and walkers started coming out at them. The camera dramatically zoomed into them, like they needed a dramatic reaction shot, so they would zoom in close on Rick's face, and then Michonne would turn around and they would zoom in close on Michonne's face. It's like, are you kidding me? This is what we're doing. We're doing Hawaii Five-0 type shit. It's like the camera zooms in from all the way across the street. However, I will say that I would love to see them do that with Eugene. Eugene, because he's rocking that badass mullet, So I would love to see Eugene on top of a building somewhere wearing some shades and his back is to the camera and the camera comes zooming in, and Eugene turns around, and takes off his shades. That's some shit that I could actually rock with. I would like that. But otherwise, no. I don't understand why they're doing that. So these are technical issues. This is why I feel that The Walking Dead, which has been suffering with low ratings, by the way, one of the reasons why it's suffering is because the writers and the producers are getting way too experimental with the way they present this thing on screen. Tell your story. Once again, this is almost like what we talk about with what's going on with Star Wars. It's like, listen, man, just use your fertile imagination. And something, if you find that your creative team is having a problem with that, fire them off with their heads, get them out and get some new people in, get some fresh blood in and start telling some fresh stories. If that's what the problem is. But all this experimental shit, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. You know, don't get me started on Carl's death episode last last week. That was the longest death scene, I think, in television history. You know, we should have cared a lot more about Carl, a season one veteran, a child who is just coming into his own, dying. We should have cared a lot more about that than we did because of the way it played out on screen. And by the way, you know what really hurt me about Carl's death? He died without getting some. That was just hurtful, man. You know, I don't know if the writers realized they did that. Carl made a big speech about becoming a man and all this stuff before he died. But man, I don't know, bro. It's like, yeah, you did a lot of heroic stuff, but they could have at least given him, you know, they should have let him taste the fruit of the nectar, you know, before he died. I don't know, just a thought. Now let me see, what else did I write down here about this particular episode? Let me see. Simon. All right, let me talk about Simon real quick. Simon, I think, was the best thing about this episode. Stephen Ogg is an amazing presence on the screen. You know, he's got all types of charisma, exuberance. Every time he's on screen, it's worthwhile to watch what he's doing, whether he's goofing off. Because, you know, the thing about him is that his presence on screen, he has this ability to be jokey, funny, cuddly even, and then he can be fucking menacing, you know, and I really, really respect that. I'm a big fan of antagonists done right, of bad guys, of villains done right. And Stephen Ogg is the real deal, man. What he brings to Simon is amazing. And you know what had me thinking? It had me thinking now. I don't know, you guys. I kind of think Stephen Ogg could do the Joker justice. Think about that. I kind of think so. You know, don't think about Heath Ledger's Joker, which is untouchable. Think about how he can interpret the Joker. I think he might be able to pull it off. You know, but Simon is just about fed up. You know what I mean? It's like he has the answer. He just wants to press reset and start all over again and just do away with everybody. Look, like, I'm done. You know, everybody's getting wiped out. It's like, you guys don't want to bow down. And Negan is on Negan is still on some human resources type shit. You know what I mean? He still believes that people are resources and he doesn't like to waste his resources. So what he believes in doing is making an example out of one or two and then believing that the rest will fall in line, kind of neglecting the fact that they are freaking ass deep in war right now. This is war. And he's still talking about saving people, and you know, they are the saviors after all. But Simon is slowly losing his focus. You know, he's running out of patience for Negan's way of doing things. And so he goes to the garbage people, you know, and you know, those funny talking people who live in a trash dump probably smell like shit, and he goes there, and I guess he's trying to get them back on board because they've been kind of going back and forth between Rick's group and Negan's group. So he goes up to Jadis and he lets them know that they're going to regret their recent course of action. And as per Negan's instructions, he goes to execute one of the garbage pail people. And then I think he has kind of like a back and forth with Jadis, and then he goes and shoots a second person. Jadis goes and knocks him on his ass. He gets up and just says, "Light him up, boys!" And they take out everybody! They take out everybody except Jadis. You know, so now, thank God, Simon just did the Lord's work, and he took out the garbage pail people. And bravo, Simon, you did what needed to be done, because if I listened to any more of that funny-ass talking, I swear to God I was going to quit the show. I was just so tired of it. So, the garbage pail people are gone, and Simon steps on some Smurfs, apparently, because he has all this blue guts all over his feet. So maybe he ran into the zombie apocalypse Smurf village, I think, and he walks off. And Jadis decides, what the hell, my people are gone now, I might as well talk regular, you know what I'm saying? It turns out that Jadis is from the hood, because she was all like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Shit. So then she brings the walkers up to the garbage crusher, you know, for lack of a better term, I don't know, something that just grinds up apparently the garbage into like gook. So she starts making noise. All of her garbage pail people, who are now walkers, fall into the grinder, and they get grinded up into chopped meat. Man, if the people from Terminus were there, their mouths would have been watering. The Terminus people would have loved that shit. So Rick and Michonne come upon Jadis, and they realize that it's a wrap. They realize that her people are gone. Jadis has dropped the act, and Rick is like, you know what, you can't do anything for us anymore. Fuck you. And then he walks on. And Jadis is left alive, but now she is in a place where, okay, the Saviors just killed my people, and Rick just gave me his ass to kiss. Now, what's she gonna do from here? And they leave her that way. So she's probably gonna come back later on, and God knows what she's gonna be up to when she comes back later on. So that was that. It was handled okay, but my problem here is that, like I said, Carl just died in the last episode, and one of the things that he did was he wrote some letters for everybody expressing the fact that he wants there to be peace in the valley. Okay, and Rick knows this. So it seems like as soon as Carl offs himself and Rick buries him, Rick is just like, well, fuck what Carl wants. I'm going back to the war. And Carl just said, Dad, I want peace. Dad, you have to find who you are. And Rick is just like, I'm killing everybody. So it turns out that Carl wrote a letter to Negan, and Michonne finds it. She shows it to Rick, and Rick is like, what the fuck? So Rick goes and reads the letter, and then he goes and he just calls up Negan. It must be nice to be at war and you can just call people up and be like, I'm gonna kill you. Click. Because that's basically what happened. Rick tells Negan that Carl, his only son, is dead. Negan is legitimately upset about this, because they kind of had kind of a weird kind of respect for Carl, Negan did. So Negan is shown to be really legitimately upset about that. So Negan is like, oh man, Rick, how did it happen? And Rick is like, he got bit. I'm gonna kill you. Negan says, Rick, I'm so sorry. Rick says, I'm gonna kill you. Negan says, man, I had plans. I was really hoping the boy was gonna have a future. Rick, I'm gonna kill you. It's like that had to be the most ungrateful acceptance of condolences you'll ever see on camera. Negan is legitimately, like, Carl wants the war to end. Rick reads the letter to Negan. Negan expresses sympathy, and Rick is just like, I'm gonna kill you no matter what. I'm gonna kill you. All the people around him are dead. I'm gonna kill you. Like, I had a problem with that, man. When you really think about this, yeah, Negan is a bad guy. He is a sociopath. But Rick must have killed something like 50 of that man's people before Negan even knew who he was. And then Negan just came back and killed Abraham. That was his plan. And then dumbass Daryl had to go and punch Negan in the face, leading to the death of Glenn. So all of this stuff got out of hand. And my thing is, I don't understand why in a zombie apocalypse you can't kind of find some sort of peace, but whatever. So anyway, that wasn't resolved. They're going to continue to fight, apparently. And let me see, what else happened? Enid and Aaron went down to the ocean side, and they accidentally killed some old lady, and then they got kicked out because they decided not to kill them, but Aaron decided he was going to hang around. Enid went on her merry way, probably to find out that Carl died in the next couple of episodes, and that was exciting. And, I think that was pretty much it for the episode, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think anything else of note happened. So I was a little bit underwhelmed by this episode. I read and watched some of the other reviews. Some people are saying this was a very, very strong episode. I guess I can see it, but to me, it's still not like up to where it should be. So, I'm still there though. Like I said, I'll be there until the end. The Walking Dead, that's my shit every Sunday. There's only one show that I insist on watching in real time, and that is The Walking Dead. So, my son got to get his ass in bed, and he knows he better be asleep, by the time that show comes on. So, that's what it is. That was my thoughts and my views on the latest episode of The Walking Dead. What did you guys think? I am the Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.